Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is January 29th. I hope everybody's having a great week so far. I know we are. Everybody is rocking, eager, and just kicking butt, right? No, today I wanted to talk to everybody about a recent RICO lawsuit that could potentially change everything for freight agents and their agencies. Okay. Before I get into that, I do want to point out, quick disclaimer, that at this stage, the claims outlined in the complaint are allegations. Okay. The defendants have not yet filed their answers, and these allegations will remain unproven unless and until a jury or court reaches a decision based on the facts. Okay. Um, so, but this, personally, I kind of believe it because I've experienced some of this myself, in previous years under another brokerage. I know others who have been affected by very similar things, and we'll maybe get into a little bit of that. So last month, Freight Essentials, they're an agency, filed a RICO lawsuit against WWEX Group, who is the parent company of Worldwide Express, GlobalTranz, and Unishippers. Okay. Dylan Admire launched Freight Essentials. He really kind of never imagined that he'd one day go to battle with one of the biggest, with one of the freight industry's largest players, right? But after building a $30 to $40 million business as a top agency at GlobalTranz, Dylan uncovered practices that he couldn't ignore, right? That were what he's saying are unethical. He basically built his agency from the ground up, leveraging his freight experience to create a successful agency. By 2021, his company was a top performer at GlobalTranz, serving clients like Redcon 1 and Raw 5, and employing a growing team, right? In July 2021, GlobalTranz was acquired and in a leveraged buyout by Worldwide Express, okay? The merger introduced some changes Dylan says were anything but transparent, and alleges the following began to occur about that time. One being inflated LTL costs. Okay. He states that carrier rates quoted in the system were higher than the actual invoices, allowing the company to pocket the difference. Okay. To kind of explain that a little bit, what he's saying is that essentially, if they did an LTL load, right, they quoted it, and like, let's just say that the LTL carrier was saying, okay, we'll do this for $200. The rate that him and his team would see would maybe be like $300. Okay. And then they would add their margin onto that. Okay. So essentially what he's saying is that they were, the brokerage was pocketing that other hypothetical $100, right? Insurance markups. Okay. If oftentimes some brokerages, will offer, you can get additional insurance when needed. Agents were charged higher premiums than Worldwide Express paid their insurers, keeping extra profits hidden. So if you were charged an extra $100, it might have only actually cost $50. Okay. Customer poaching. Now, this is something that I myself experienced in years previous when I was a bit newer. I know others that this has happened to, and this is why I kind of wanted to do this video, because some of the allegations in this lawsuit are, again, things that people I know have experienced, things that I've personally experienced, and I think that it really could potentially change things down the road for freight agents and their agencies. So the third thing that he's alleging is customer poaching. Clients were allegedly shifted to Worldwide Express under false pretenses, undermining long-term relationships that their agents built. So personally, I've had active customers that we were doing regular business with at a, you know, back in the day, and all of a sudden I went to go cover another load. In fact, if memory serves, it might have even been with the same carrier, right? Because as I state, I like to use the same carriers as often as possible. And my customer was no longer in the system. I thought, well, this must be some sort of a glitch. Tried to reach out, no answer. Finally got a hold of somebody in the back office, and they said, well, has it been, when was the last time you booked a load? And I said, just recently. I've got a carrier under a load for them now. And so they said, well, that's kind of funny. Well, come to find out, nope, they didn't say anything. They just poached them and coded that customer to themselves, right? So, and I know of other individuals that in violation of their agreement, right, their contract with the brokerage, were held liable for bad debt, which we're going to get into that in just a moment. Their agreement basically stated that, if customers' invoices went unpaid after a certain period of time, they could recoup those commissions, right? But only the commissions, because the brokerage was the debt holder, right? They're the ones that established the line of credit and all of that. And then if and when that customer paid, they would get those commissions back. That's how the agreement went. They actually ended up charging that agent for the entire amount of the unpaid invoices unfairly. In fact, I don't know that the statute of limitations is up on that. So, brother, I don't know. It's something to, if you're watching this, you might want to think about this a little bit. Okay. And fourth, alleging unfair bad debt practices, kind of like what I just mentioned a moment ago. Agents were held financially responsible for bad debt, even though credit lines were issued by the company itself, right? And they weren't taking that off the books, is what he's saying. So if they were charged $1,900 for the customer's invoice, they weren't taking it off the books. So, which is illegal. So, in June of 2023, his agency was terminated without notice while he was out on a family trip. Worldwide Express claimed ownership of his agency's accounts, sending premeditated emails to his customers suggesting they had acquired his company, right, under false pretenses. So, yeah. This, I think, and it's not just them. Like I said, it's happened to me. It's happened to other people that I've known and do know. And so it's very, very important for agents, when you sign on with a brokerage, to pay attention to that agreement that you're signing, number one, and number two, making sure that that brokerage is holding up their end of that contract, right? And you might seem like a small fish in a big pond, but what's ethical and right is still ethical and right. And if they're taking advantage of you, and if you say something, they might come back with, we've got all these lawyers, we've got these big time lawyers and stuff. You can't be afraid of that, right? You just can't. And maybe you yourself are watching this right now going, you know what, this has happened to me. I'm going through this right now. Some of this, with the brokerage that you're signed on under. So yeah, I think this is going to set a precedent for the future across the industry, regardless of the outcome. But yeah, something to be aware of. And don't let anybody poach your customers. Make sure that you, like I said, that you understand the fine print. Make sure that you're building your business, not somebody else's. Like I said, I've never been a fan of non-competes. I know that there are some brokerage agency agreements out there that, you know, they're non-competes. You can't even work in the industry for like a period of a year, or, you know, your client or your customers aren't yours for a year after, you know, whether you leave or they let you go, whatever. So again, you know, and if you're experiencing any problems with any of that, by all means, if you want to or need to, feel free to email me, freightmasterresources@gmail.com, and I will do my very best to help you out, or maybe understand your agency agreement a little bit better. For anybody else out there, if you don't have DAT and want 10% off your subscription for the first year, we've got a code in the description below. As always, if you need factoring, our recommended and our Facebook group's partner factoring company is Operfi. We've talked about them. Greatest thing since sliced bread, in my opinion. You know, the team over there, they're rock stars. They're really true rock stars. And let's not forget eCarrierCheck. Again, we use it. My team uses it. You know, Jared and Nate, fantastic guys. You know, very outgoing, very helpful. Don't forget to check out their YouTube channel. A lot of great information over there. They do like live cold calling and advice and things for carriers and brokers. So yeah, don't forget to go check them out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on their channel and their videos. Okay. With that, I hope everybody's having a great week. Like I said, happy Wednesday, and make the best out of it. I think that 2025 is going to be a bit of a better year. Will it be phenomenal? Well, again, as many state, you know, in this industry, you get out of it what you make out of it, right? So, anywho, be kind to one another. Don't get complacent, and have a great week. Bye-bye now.